Okay, what's up, guys? This is Mark from DsGenie, and I'm here with Kafir, who's the CEO of DSM Tools. We're going to, which is a eBay software for a software platform to eBay dropshipping. Those of you guys who follow me, I was a co-founder of DSGenie, which also sold the software for eBay dropshipping. And this is a debate about if you use software and the whole API usage of software in eBay dropshipping, because it was a big mission for a very long time. So I think it's a topic that we needed to talk about a long time ago. So I happy we finally got here. And also, a lot of these type of topics need to be covered because dropshipping, according to a video I did recently, can be a kind of black hat activity, but it can be a white hat legitimate business for long-term purposes. And there are elements of white hat and black hat in the industry, and no one is really talking about it. And what I would like to contribute to, and I'm sure Kafir as well, is that to educate you guys on the options you have so you can make conscious decisions on what direction you want to go. So, like, I will make a video in the future. I've been mentioning that I lost $250,000 in cash last year, and that's connected to some black hat activity. So all of that, this is just one of the videos that you will expect on No BS covering this type of topic. But subscribe to my channel, guys. Hit the bell notification because you're really not going to get this anywhere else. Like, I'm really grateful to Kafir for doing this because two CEOs of companies that were competing in a relatively small market generally don't sit down, talk, share, and then share in public. So I feel like grateful that we're doing this, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. So like the video. If you have any questions for each of us moving forward, put them in the comment section. But yeah, so Kafir, go ahead. So I kind of introduce who you are. So who you are, and then we
Mark, first let's set the grounds. We were not competing in this little market. We were leading the market and you had a software too. No, I'm just joking. Thank you for having me again on your channel. I'm very happy to be here and I'm very happy to open these subjects, and I want to personally thank you, and I also said it in one of the Q&As that I did on our Instagram channel. I want to thank you because you were actually the person who persuaded me to open up and tell this story. And I sat and I wrote down the story of what happened step after step, and I'm going to reveal it also today during our debate and this discussion. And I will explain and try to bust that myth that is regarding whether you should use or not use a software for eBay dropshipping and what are the implications. But so there will be that story, but the message behind it is, as you said, is the actual message that we want to send to people is that you have to know the risks of the business that you're going into. You have to understand and make a conscious decision. Make whatever decision you want, but be conscious. And if you lost 250 grand on the gift cards, well, I lost 250 grand by not telling the story and by having people online telling different stories and not talking about the risk. So this is also something that I'm very, very happy to open up to. And yeah, let's get started.
And guys, just to be, you're watching this to think like, okay, now these guys are working together. There's a lot of stuff we don't fucking agree on, huh? So this is not going to be like, this is not necessarily going to be, like Mark is like, Kafir is right, because again, we were competing, but my goal or hope is that we use logic and facts to fucking give you guys actual information that would be helpful. So yeah, Kafir, so where you want to start? Start the shit.
Let's start with section 9 of the API license agreement of eBay. Let's bring the main suspects, and discuss it. And I want to share my screen for a second.
Yeah.
Because I want everyone to see. This is the eBay Developers Program license agreement that every software developer that starts developing a software for eBay has to agree to. If I go to section 9, that is under, look what a horrible name it has, restricted activities, that's how it's called. Clause 9.7 says that use eBay services to promote or engage seller in arbitrage activities not allowed. I'm not saying it word by word. So you're not allowed as a software developer. You're not allowed to develop a software that will automatically reprice prices from other websites or other retailers, competitors to eBay. This is how they call it here. And not automatically order from those websites and not automatically update tracking information. And this is a new clause from 2018. In the middle of 2018, they added it to the developer program terms of service and put software like DsGenie, like your software, like my software DSM tool, out of the terms of service of eBay for the developers program. And you know what? Before I continue in explaining what is and how what from your knowledge, what is API? How is it being used by software companies? What is it all about? Why do we even care about the API license agreement? Why do we developers even need it?
I mean, the API of any platform gives you access to the platform to transfer data to and from it, right? So when you say transfer data, anything you want to do, like for instance, an eBay to API to eBay or API to Walmart will give you access to changing prices or collecting data or collecting competition, and Walmart would collect data and then you use APIs to connect the two, right? To the software, right. and that's just in basic terms. And right. I think so let me say one other thing. What is interesting, as Kafir and I got to know each other, what is interesting, it is obvious that, well, I think, we didn't talk about this, but our approach to business, I am a more I need to get, when I started to sell DsGenie, I didn't know what SaaS meant. I'm talking about months in, I realized software as a service was a thing. So how we go about this process, my explanations of stuff, most of the times would not have definitions because I just know what they are. And I think that you have a more formal approach to this whole thing, right? But anyway, sorry, Kabir.
All right, so let's get down. Let's understand when we started DSM tool, when we decided to develop a software for eBay dropshipping, what was the process that we as developers had to go through? Now, I'm not personally a developer. I'm doing more the product work, but my brother, who was my business partner, who started developing it, what is the process that he had to go through? And when you register as a developer on eBay, this is how it works. So as you said, you need API. API is the way that the two software talks. So DsGenie was talking to eBay through API or not through API, I can't remember. And DSM tool is talking to your eBay store through this thing that is called the API. Right. But the way that it works with eBay is that when you register on eBay developers program, you get this bucket. And this bucket has 5,000, I have it here, 5,000 calls. This is how it's called. Think of it like when you sell on eBay, that you have a limit to how much you can sell, right? There are eBay seller limits to every brand new account. Same thing goes for developers. We have a new developer limit. We can take 5,000 actions in any store. I can have 1,000 stores connected to my app, and I will be able to perform 5 actions in each one of them every day, because it's about the developer account and not about how many stores are connected to this developer account. And every new developer account gets this 5,000 calls that they can make, 5,000 price changes. You get it. But if you develop a software DSM tool still has thousands of people that are using the software. If you develop a software to such scale, 5,000 bucket, like this tiny bucket, is just not enough. You have to go through a process that is called eBay compatibility or compatible application check. Here, you can read about it here. I'm not going to go down into it because I don't think that's too interesting for everyone. But basically, if you went through the process and you had it all right, then your 5,000 bucket becomes 1.5 million calls per day. And with 1.5 million bucket, you can support many, 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 many different stores. And
right, well, but let me stop you right there, Kafir. What is interesting is we never did that.
You never did it?
Never.
Because you never needed an API connection, right?
No, we use the separate 5,000 APIs per customer.
Okay, fair enough. So we're going to relate to that later. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
And
All right.
that's what I told you. I was happy we started here, but go ahead.
So we in 2016 went through the compatibility check, right? Because we started DSM tool, and I want to, before I'm explaining what happened and how did non-API happen, I want to take you back in a little bit in history and talk about what else happened in 2016. A couple of days after we started DSM tool, back then we were dropshipping mostly from Amazon, Walmart, and Home Depot. The three big retailers were the biggest ones that were used. I got a call from someone, an Israeli guy who managed one of the biggest stores in Israel. He had over million products, 1.3 million products in his store. Each one of these
fucking possible.
Each one of these, he had the software to do it with. It wasn't DSM tool. Each one of these products was first listed on eBay, and then if it got sold, was ordered from Amazon to the customer, the typical retail arbitrage activity, which is now against the policy. All right? He said,
is that store still open?
I don't know. I'm not in touch with him today. Okay, I can't tell you. We didn't do business.
I can think of one fucking store that it might be that. But anyway, go ahead. Just because I know I spent hours and months sniping these fuckers. But go ahead.
All right. No, I didn't. I don't think he had one store. I think he had multiple stores. Never mind. Okay, let's put him aside. The point is that in the conversation with him, he brought up the fact that I wasn't aware of, that in the Israeli office of eBay, there is an account manager that all of her job, she's full-time working as an account manager on eBay, on the payroll of eBay, and she manages accounts of people that are doing retail arbitrage, meaning that it's 100% legitimate thing that eBay is supporting. And I was like, that's amazing. I want to get to know her. Very quickly, we got to know her. To what level? To a level, let me show you. To a level of, where is it? Wait a second, let me find. I'm stopping to sharing my screen for a second. Please excuse me for my privacy here, for privacy reasons. And now I'm sharing it again. And take a look, this is our team on a fun day where eBay decided to host us for a tour. This is our team in November 2017. That was before before everything started going nuts with the non-API and everything. And we were invited there to meetings. This is my team asking the account manager questions about eBay dropshipping, learning what eBay wants, what eBay doesn't want. We were in good relations with eBay. And that's what was happening around. Now, from that point, around the same time, okay, now we're starting a new story. Around the same time that the new policy came up, the API license agreement started. And by the way, today there is not only the API license agreement. If I will go and look for eBay dropshipping policy, then in the beginning of 2019, eBay launched not only the API license agreement for developers, but also the dropshipping policy that I guess you've heard of. I guess you, Mark, heard of, if people didn't hear of. That says the same thing for sellers. You don't have to be a developer in order to not comply with the eBay policies. Sellers, that here it says, listing an item and then purchasing it from another retailer or marketplace that ships directly to your customer is not allowed on eBay. Very, very clear text explaining their policy, saying that it's not allowed. So how the hell did we get to this thing that is called non-API? And here is what, from my knowledge, what's the story. So there is another software, great people. I'm really I was afraid to tell this story because I'm in good contact with them. When that happened to them, the first thing that their CEO did was calling me. So right. Another great software called SkewGrid. They're doing a great job. It's a little bit different than DSM tool. Go check it out if you want. They in the middle of
I know Anton as well, because Anton, we've been in this business for about the same time. Because when I started DsGenie in 2014, I think, or 13, I think it's 14. They were the only piece of software, right? But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. It's all good. They were very popular until today. They offer over 800 websites that you can source from. So
And I
they
use
have their
their
own.
API. I use their API. Actually, when we first started price tracking, it was through their API.
There you go.
Yeah. But
So
then you want to
sorry.
overcharge us, and that's a whole lot of fucking
So
story.
so SKUGrid. So what happened with SKUGrid? They were being very successful. And do you remember the discussion about the bucket, the 5,000 calls bucket, and the 1.5 million?
All right.
All right. They had so many customers that they reached the 1.5 million calls bucket. And when they reached it, they did the same thing. What do you do when you reach your eBay seller limits? What do you advise people to do?
Yeah, you call for an increase.
You call for an increase. They did the same thing. They didn't call. You do it through text. Never mind. It's like a system of the eBay developer, but they asked for an increase. And then eBay decided to review their software. It was exactly in time for the new terms, I guess. They didn't pass the review, and their account got suspended forever. It got closed, and that's a big. Sorry, I'm usually not cursing, but I'm on your channel, so I'm allowed to. It was a big fucking mess for them. No software company want to go through such things because and then they needed a solution which eventually will be a non-API version, which I'll explain in a second. But before they had that solution, they went actually for the solution that you talked about of asking users to open their own developer's account. And then how did you do it? How did it work? What was the technical thing that happened?
We did that from the beginning because, and that's what I'm saying.
How does it work? How, like in DSM tool, you sign up to DSM tool, you click connect to my eBay store, you put your username and password, you agree, you approve DSM tool, and that's it. You're done. With connecting a developer account of a user to use the software is a little bit more tricky. You need a token and right?
Yeah. So no, you need a token as well. But we were just connecting. We were just connecting the DsGenie software directly through the API. So we didn't have a DsGenie API, right? And when we did that in the beginning, so all of this is tied in. The reason why I said I was happy we started there is because all of this is tied in this whole black hat and white hat thing and making these conscious decisions. Because when I first started DsGenie, I was like, this does not make any fucking sense. Mm-hmm. I was like, you can't ship, in my opinion, right? I was mainly selling from Walmart. I wasn't doing Amazon. I was mainly doing Walmart. And I was like, you can't be fucking shipping from Walmart to eBay forever because that would just keep taking. All I was doing is moving clients off of eBay to Walmart. When they get a Walmart box, some people are like, great. So I was making money and I was like, so I was drop shipping, making money. And then I was like, fuck, I don't know how long this shit is going to last. And then when it lasted, when I got up to making 10, 15, 20 grand a month in profit with no software, and then I was like, okay, someone who I know, Quasi, he was a developer. I know some development. I was like, dude, we can make a couple of scripts and try to sell it, right? In this space. But most software companies, to build a software company costs a lot of money in research and development. Like, we know that. The public may be like, fuck, we're just making software. We code in and like it's free. But it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to build proper software, right? So software companies usually
just like a course that established entrepreneurs on.
Right. Yeah, so we'll go through it. But so what I say, so usually you spend thousands of dollars to hundreds of thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars to sell software, to build a software. And usually the exit for software is you sell it or you get so much cash flow that's worth it and that type of stuff. Because I know eBay is a platform made for people to sell their shit. I was weirded out about the space that I was getting in, but it was profitable. So I had to make decisions on, okay, I looked at what it would take to get approved. I was like, fuck that. And then I looked at the personal APIs and I was like, oh, we could just connect to that shit. Because I didn't know how long it would end. I didn't think I could sell DsGenie as a software. So we started at that point. I know what eBay kind of wants and why it was built. And I think I'm doing a black hat activity. So I want to stay as gray and as hidden as possible. Mm-hmm. So even how I sniped and the number of listings I listed and my strategy as a personal eBay dropshipper, I was up to selling $345,000 a month on eBay, and I never crossed 1,000 listings. Never. And it wasn't based on something specific. I just understood that I am making money in eBay's house, and I don't want to mess their house up too much. So they would leave me
You know
here.
what you did wrong? Mark, you know what you did wrong? What the thing that you've done wrong is not on the eBay side. It's on how to develop a software company side. It's on like not working through the API of one, like not going through the compatibility. By the way, when you're compatible, you're allowed to say that you're a compatible eBay app. Otherwise, theoretically and legally, you're not allowed to say that.
No, and we never said that. That's the thing. We never even said we were compatible. and that's why but this is what I'm saying, confused. This conversation is interesting because the when I got into this whole space, I was literally an ex-blogger backpacking in Costa Rica, broke, right? So I was just like, I'm going to start making money. Then the software thing was, okay, there's an opportunity here. So even how I looked at it, and you're right, when it's a mistake in the sense of like, now where I am now, even how I approach business and the type of stuff I would build and the goals I have are like more longer term. But then I never once made it like, it wasn't like I want to build a software company. I always knew as a child, I remember growing up telling my mother, as soon as I started to use the internet, if I ever live with a programmer, I will be rich. I didn't know exactly what that meant, but I just knew that I'm relatively smart. I know mathematics, and I could figure out, and I see problems that I could solve, right? So I never approached it at only after all the experience with DsGenie and meeting you and interacting with other CEOs, then as I look at it different now. But even when I got into it, I just looked at, okay, this is some black hat shit. I will just approach it in that manner. I made a lot of money doing it, but you always have to be like bobbing and moving, right? You always it's a fucked up space, and it's not a long-term, healthy, controllable thing, in my opinion, when you go black hat.
I'm willing to accept the claim that, like, look, who am I to say to someone that is broke and doesn't have money that he should or shouldn't do something? It's your decision, and fine, I get it. But you can't scale and we're going to say that the same thing soon, like later in the discussion. We're going to refer to the same thing when we're talking about scaling eBay dropshipping stores as sellers. So let's take your example. In your example, you can't scale the software company that you're building based on a model that is that black hat, that is going not the right way with eBay.
You can't scale anything. I don't think you can scale anything. And I only learned that from experience, right? And that's why this debate is interesting.
Let's go back to that subject when we talk about how to scale eBay dropshipping stores when you're dropshipping for retailers, and if you can do that or not. But let me go back for a second to the story, because we talked about the other company called SKUGrid, which tried a developer account and suddenly couldn't reprice items for anyone, and they were in deep shit. And what they did first is they told everyone, open your accounts, and like open developer accounts, use the 5,000 like you did with DsGenie. That didn't work. Like I personally saw on Facebook people posting that their account got suspended, and it was a big mistake. Unfortunate.
But let me tell you something else. There's something that you missed over that I'm not sure if you realize. When SKUGrid got suspended, right? When the API got suspended, a lot of the Amazon accounts connected to that API got suspended even before they got clients to set up their own API. And that's the
eBay account.
The eBay account. The eBay account, sorry. The eBay account was suspended. And that's the crazy thing. And I know that because when I was in DsGenie, when we were building DsGenie, I was in the DsGenie group all the time. And it was a very kind of like family thing, right? So there were some people who left and who might have been using SKUGrid, or who was using DsGenie with SKUGrid, because we were doing price tracking. So a lot of our current clients, their accounts got shut down, and then we lost subscribers because of it. So even before they went to that route, some accounts got shut down, and that's a crazy thing.
Look, let's put it aside. The point is that the only solution for SkewGrid was to develop a different approach that
Yeah.
is using your computer and your browser and sort of Excel files. It's called CSV files, and it's something that is called file exchange that basically updates the product on your store in a different way, in a way that requires your computer to be turned on 24/7 with the browser open, and somehow for some reason that I still can't understand, YouTube, people that talk about eBay dropshipping on YouTube somehow connected the fact that all of these events to another event that happened at the same time. And I want to show you that it happened. I'm going to show you. Actually, I'm going to show it in a second. There is something called promoted listings on eBay, which is well, it's a way that for you to get more exposure on the eBay for your listings from eBay by giving them a cut from your sales, basically. Like, we won't go dive deep now into how it works. That's not the point. The point is that there is a feature that gives you more sales. If we want to put it right. Do you agree with that saying?
Yeah.
All right. So we do agree about something. So and people that used this feature suddenly lost all of their promotions. Like, somehow in the middle of it started in 2018, a little bit happened in 2019, and people started posting graphs of the promoted listings going like whoops, going down like that, because they got what they called flagged. eBay flagged them. The eBay algorithm detected that they're dropshipping from retailers, flagged their accounts, and didn't give visibility to. It's like, think of it in these terms. When Google are making change in their algorithm, your website can go from being on page number 1 for something that people are searching to page number 10 within a day, and that happens. Companies got shut down from such things. So eBay did the same move. The algorithm detected dropshippers that are dropshipping from retailers, and they got flagged, and they couldn't use anymore the promoted listings. And together, all of these events together, this company developing the non-API because they had to, because they lost their developer account, and eBay dropshippers are losing their visibility in their accounts for the promoted listings. All of this became into this wonderful conspiracy that is called you cannot use any more software for dropshipping, and there were proofs. People posted proofs, and this is what confused me. I was like, what can I say? There are proofs. And the proofs were that people opened new accounts, new eBay accounts, listed products manually without a software, and got visibility for their products. And they were happy. They're like, hey, we have a proof. You just don't need. It's the software that fucks you up, not the fact that you're drop shipping from retailers. And and what I think that happened, and I actually don't have the picture here, but it's in my blog post. What I think that happened is that the algorithm of eBay was not yet detecting people fast enough, because I have a conversation with a manual dropshipper from 2 weeks ago. No, maybe 4 weeks ago. But let's make it more dramatic. From 2 weeks ago, that where he posts on the Financial Freedom Network. It's a Facebook group. He posts there, hey, I got this email from eBay that says that my account got that I'm not following the selling practices on eBay, which actually means that he got flagged. And I immediately contacted him. I was like, are you dropshipping with a software or manually? And he was like, no, I'm dropshipping manually. And on the first sale, he already got flagged. And let me show you even more than that.
Yeah, but wait, no, but go back. Before we go there, I want to share something with you, and that I was on the others, like that would have been one of my what do you call it, rebuttals in this debate, but I'm not sure. So I'll explain what happened. Remember, I was saying that DsGenie used to use SkewGrid's API, right? Then we stopped using SkewGrid's API, and DsGenie was just, for a while, just a lister and a sniper. So you snipe, you do product research, so you're not doing automatic price change and all that stuff, right? When we did that, we allowed people to use their own SkewGrid account to track their listings, right? When this whole thing happened, so we had a percentage of people that were tracking their listings, and we had a percentage of people that didn't give a fuck and was not tracking their listings, right? And there was a ridiculous percentage of people. Again, this was a couple of years ago. This was a year ago. So I don't have the data in front of me. But there's a very high percentage of people that, if not all the people that were not doing tracking, did not get flagged or shut down. And a very, very, very high percentage of people that were using tracking got flagged or shut down, right? So before we recorded, my initial rebuttal is that's evidence, right? So this is how I am saying that you should not use API, you should use API. But in our conversation, I realized one thing that I did not think about. So everyone in my test group, right? Every data point is connected to fucking SKU Grid. And SKU Grid was one of the biggest, just price tracking. Even the people who use, like some of the people who would have used other pieces of software might still use SKU Grid, right? So this data set is 100% fucking SKU Grid. So now, like when I was thinking about this debate, I was like, this motherfucker doesn't know what I have, right? I'm coming with this. But now, in all fairness, for logic and for
you are
information,
the mathematics graduate.
right?
Come on.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. My thing was, fuck Kafir. I know this. I know half my guys, almost all the guys that had SKU Grid got suspended or whatever, and the guys who didn't, right? But that could be a trigger from SKU Grid being shut down.
Maybe. And if it's
sure.
a trigger, and if it's manually, then explain this, please. How come I found a post? 5 minutes before our call, I found this post. I went on Zik Analytics Facebook group. I looked for the keywords promoted listings in the search bar, and I started scrolling down. I said, no chance I'm not finding one of those graphs going down because there were so many pictures of them. This is from 2019. I found many also. Like I found not many, but I found others from 2018 as well. And look what the guy says. I'm doing manual dropshipping, from Lowe's. That's a supplier that he's used. No software at all. However, my promoted impressions have taken sudden plumped. My account conduct is perfect. No, not canceled a single order. Everything tracked. Replied to all messages. I thought that this method was flag proof. Mark, my point is not that software gets you flagged or not get you flagged. I don't know what gets you flagged, but that's the point. Nobody knows what gets you flagged. And the only thing that connects everyone together, everyone that reports, that I see, is the fact that they're dropshipping from retailers, not what software they use, not this software, that software. That's the only connection point that still connects everyone, from what I see it.
Right, but Kafir, so okay, so let's stick there, right? With people getting flagged for selling from retailers and software and all this stuff, right? This also comes back to what you were saying about scaling a bit, and I don't think you're not speaking the same language as a lot of people in internet marketing. And let me explain what I mean, right?
Go ahead.
In the eBay dropshipping space, a lot of the people who make money dropshipping on eBay, I would say the majority of people who make money dropshipping on eBay are not long-term entrepreneurs. A lot of them may be full-time, but there's a weird corner of the internet where you go from what works to do a little bit of work to the next thing that works to do a little bit of work, and eBay dropshipping just happens to be one of those things. And how you approached it is, I could build a business long-term, right? And when someone comes and says, manual dropshipping works. So this is Sunny's success with Sully or whoever the fuck, one of his other influencers, right? That's his thing. And why I'm saying that, because that Lowe's thing is clear success with Sully. Don't use any software. Dropship from Lowe's because I don't know all of it. I've done all the courses. I follow everyone. I know all the information, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this works. Like this is safe dropship here because this is manual dropshipping. So he created his manual dropshipping to try to solve a problem in a little fucking space when no one, not him, not no one wants to say all of this shit. This is just a little less black hat, and there's a chance that you could stay alive for longer. But he is selling it as this is the safe way to dropship because this is how he sells his course. So everyone, but no one is saying
I don't have
that.
a problem with that.
No, I know.
I don't have a problem
I'm not saying
with
it's a problem.
Do whatever you want, but why delegitimizing my software? That's the only question that I had this entire year. Why are you delegitimizing software? It's not related to software. Do it however you want. Make money.
Right.
Choose
No,
your path.
exactly.
Go completely
Exactly.
deflect if you want. It's not my problem.
But no, exactly. No, exactly. But this is what I'm saying. And this is why I told you that you need to fucking get on YouTube and you need to talk. And this is why, right? You are saying don't delegitimize my software, right? But most people don't know they want your software is not what the people, your software is not solving the problem most people want right now, right? So let me explain what I mean, right? All the people that you are talking to, all the people that I am talking to want to know, listen, motherfucker, what's the fastest amount of money I can make as quickly as I want to make with the least amount of spend? They're not asking, they don't give a, and the quicker they make the money is the quicker they're satisfied, right? And this is the entire message. And this is what they believe and what they're looking for. And you are making a fucking piece of software that is, listen, if you build a business properly, you can have a business for 3 years. You can have a business for 5 years. You can plan. You can scale. You can set goals 3 years from now and try to go from $20,000 a month to $2 million a month, knowing that you build a legitimate business. But you are building a software for that, to build a legitimate business in a world where no one even knows what that means. I'm not saying me, but I'm saying the majority of people looking is not even going to go that far. And no one is there to say there is that option, or not enough people. They're outside of eBay dropshipping. There are people that's saying this is a business, this is entrepreneurship, this is the opportunity. You can build a business and feed your fucking family, right? For a long time savings, all the shit. But especially in eBay dropshipping, no one, you're not going to, you have to tell that story. You have to get those people because everyone, if you look at the fucking thumbnails, you're like, 5,000 today, $100,000 a month, $25,000. No one is fucking talking about. So by people saying,
let's talk about the solution.
Yeah. So go there.
Let's talk about. Oh, okay, let's go in the direction of the solution. And I am going to disappoint the listeners and tell them that as of today, our software still don't have 100%. Nothing is complete. Like everything is by the book of everything that eBay is requesting. No, I'm saying it out loud. I'm saying it to people. It's a wonderful software. I'm going to explain exactly who is it for. I'm going to explain exactly what happens when you do eBay dropshipping and what I think that should be the practices that you should follow if you want to use that. But I'm not going to tell people that by dropshipping, in the that I'm going to show, there are zero risks at all because we were not yet able. I tried to call eBay I tried to contact okay, here's the thing. When all of this mess happened when non-API started, I have a contact on eBay, remember? She hosted us. I just showed you the pictures. And she gave me good news and bad news. The good news were that she got promoted. She's now a business development, and she started talking to me about like business opportunities with eBay and stuff that eBay needs. And I said, all right, wait a second. I don't have room in my roadmap currently. I need to handle the crisis that we're going through. Let's talk again in a while. And that didn't yield to any partnership specifically with eBay. And on the other side, the bad news was that she said, so she got promoted. I was like, okay, so who's replacing you? We need an account manager to take care of us. And she was like, no, we decided that we're not giving an account manager for retail dropshipping anymore. That's kind of bad news. So the first action that we took is we incorporated 5 legitimate dropshipping suppliers into DSM tools. This is Banggood, China Brands, Gogomol, which isn't active anymore, Costway, and I can't remember what's the left one. But
can
the
I
first
just say one thing? Can I just say one thing that I think we also didn't bring up? So a lot of you guys are like, software is going to get me flagged, or drop shipping from retailers is going to get me flagged, right? And I agree that both may or may not get you flagged. We don't know the degree, all that stuff. So let's forget that. But you have to also remember that you have a fucking API that's approved from eBay, right? The same way. So they are aware of what's going on. It's not like,
and we're trying not to lose it.
Right. And that's the goal. Anyway, go ahead. But that's what I'm saying. Like that specific thing. Anyone that wants to know legitimate or not legitimate, even awarded an API to.
So the first thing that we did, Mark, was we added 5 legitimate suppliers that you can work with. These are not retailers, because these are websites. I don't think anyone, not many people that are not from the dropshipping world have heard of these websites, because these are not retail websites. They don't aim for buyers to go and buy on them. They aim for dropshippers to come and do business and contact them, and you can contact the chat support and get, for example, reseller. I think definitely.
Yeah, sorry. No, go back like 5. Why is this?
Hear me?
Fuck, I don't know why it's breaking up. Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now. But go back like 10 seconds. But there's something I'm gonna go ahead. The 5 suppliers.
So they give you resale agreement on eBay, but we didn't get confirmation from eBay that this is 100% legitimate. This is why I said we still don't have a solution that eBay approved. They gave us the stamp. It is a legitimate. These are legitimate suppliers. It's probably, I don't know if it's gonna, like, nobody knows what gets you flagged. So I don't know if working with them will get you flagged. That's the one problem. The second problem was that unlike the 3 big retailers, they don't offer as many products. These are small websites. They can't compete with the massive amount of products that you need. So we decided to go. By the way, we also added CJ Dropshipping and Wantify, which was very different. Adding wholesale suppliers, which is Cocos Trade and Cocos, very, very legitimate. But another action that we took is we looked back at 2016 and before, and we asked ourselves, so this is our theory, yeah? We asked ourselves, what was the reason, but it's not just our theory, this is a discussion that was ongoing. What is the reason that eBay allowed to dropship on eBay from Amazon? Why did only in 2019 they blocked it? So the reason they actually blocked it is because there was a lot of abuse. But why did they agree to manage accounts with million products from Amazon? The reason for that was because Amazon, if you look back at the growth of eBay and the growth of Amazon, you see that Amazon at some point, I can't remember which year, is passing eBay. And the catalog of Amazon had more products to offer than the catalog of eBay. So they said, all right, fine, at least we have those products in the catalog. You're helping us build the catalog. This is, again, I don't have a stamp that says that this is the right decision. I don't know. I'm not the CEO of eBay. I don't know what was going on there. But I can tell you that this was in discussion in the dropshipping community, at least in the discussions that I've been through. And we said, all right, so if eBay is looking to build further their catalog, let's at least do the step of allowing people to dropship from as many websites as possible. And we incorporated, I'll share the screen, together with these, together with all of the legitimate suppliers, where is it? It's here. This is the DSM tool website, and you can see the list of websites that you can dropship from. And the idea, and then for each one of those websites, we developed an option, like in our Chrome extension, you can type, let's say, something that is trending that I think both me and you need now is hair grooming, hair cutter. So like hair trimmer, let's say. And when you look for a hair trimmer in our product, it opens it in AliExpress, which is one of the most popular websites. But you can also look at that within a click of a button. let's just click on that. It doesn't matter which. Within a click of a button, you can check for different websites and find new products. And you're the one that was teaching sniping and then looking for similar products, right? Just think about the amount of opportunities that we've created, and that's the point. We said if we can't 100% comply with eBay terms of policy, let's at least contribute to what eBay initially wanted us to do. And eBay initially wanted us to increase the opportunities that we give to the buyers on eBay. So there are two things that you can do when you snipe products. You can either find the exact same product for a lower price, which you can do when you compare 10 different websites, or you can find similar products for a lower price, which is just good enough, and then you expand the catalog of eBay. And yes, I know it's not 100% legitimate. You will still, if you will dropship from all of these different retailers, and if you would dropship, never mind manually or not manually, because this discussion is whether you should use the software or not use the software. So the point is that if you still want to dropship from retailers, fine, go ahead. You can also do it with DSM tool. This is part of what we have. You can work only legitimate. You can work with retailers, but think about not only about giving a great customer support, but also think about the fact that first you're going to gain less visibility. You're not going to get as much visibility as we got in 2016 and before that, because eBay don't give visibility for people that dropship from retailers. But if you
wait, hold on.
Let me finish. If you do good work, you're going to make nice profits there. And that leads me to the last thing that I want to say, is that remember that we talked about scaling and about not being able to scale in a black hat activity. Today, actually, the one way that I'm familiar with to do scale your eBay dropshipping business is to go completely black hat. How do people do that? They create dozens. I know of people that created hundreds of eBay stores, all with fake identities. All of these fake identities are fake names, and they have, I don't know, fake IDs, I guess, and whatever, and real addresses of people. So I don't know what these people get in the mail after. I don't know how this thing works. I don't want to take one step towards the direction. And what they do is they take their store and they duplicate it, which is also, by the way, completely against what you're supposed to do in eBay. You're not allowed to, if you have two accounts, two eBay stores on your identity, you're not allowed to sell the same products in those two stores. But if it's fake identities, and there are platforms today that allow you to manage dozens of stealth accounts, just go ahead and do that. And then you can duplicate your store again and again, and that is already going into a much more illegal direction, which I'm not willing to promote. Again, do your own decision, but this is the point. This is eventually my point. You want to do eBay dropshipping, try to do it legitimately, and if you can, learn wholesale suppliers dropshipping if you want to work 100% legitimate and if you have the money. But if you don't have the money, you said people are asking me, how can I get it the fastest? So fine, so go do dropshipping from retailers, fine. Do it in a way that expands, that helps eBay, that helps the buyers on eBay get better opportunities by working with more than 50 websites, and not only dropshipping from one website manually with that you have to go and reprice yourself, because that doesn't make sense. That's not helping eBay. That's not helping the buyers of eBay. It doesn't really keep you off of the radar. As I showed you, still are going to get flagged. So if you're already getting flagged, fine. It seems like eBay is not suspending accounts of people that are not scaling their dropshipping business. Do a little bit money on eBay dropshipping, and then go and learn how to work on Amazon, and then start your own blog, start a YouTube channel, expand your business in different directions. You don't have to make your millions from eBay dropshipping, but this is the best business method to get started with. There is no competition to how easy it is to I took your Amazon bootcamp. Opening an Amazon account and opening an eBay account and start selling is a whole different journey that you have to go through. So if you're only a beginner, if you opening a Shopify store and then advertising and spending your savings or going into debt and taking a loan to do advertising, that's a big no-no in my opinion. So if you don't have the money, if you're just a beginner, if you're only taking your first steps in e-commerce, then fine. Again, we had this discussion about how legitimate it is. I know it's not 100% legitimate method, but don't scale it into black hat. That's my personal choice. And if you do scale it into black hat, know that you're going into an illegal direction. And my offer for people is do that as a starting point, and then directions scale into Amazon dropshipping, scale into then invest in Shopify furniture. After you would make your the money that you made in profits from eBay dropshipping.
Why did it break up? Yeah, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you know. I was hearing you, but I was going in and out. The recording is usually good. But I want you to answer something. There's something I want you to. So we talked about the black hat, white hat, and we talked about the scaling and going in different directions and making conscious decisions, right? So now this is the challenge here. There are two questions I think you, as a CEO of DSM Tools, need to answer. Maybe not in this video, maybe not in this conversation, or maybe yes, right? So one, you talked about black hat, right? And you talked about using retailers, okay? And if someone goes in that direction, it may be possible that they stay below the radar for a longer time if they do not use the API. We don't know yes or no, but this is what is being preached, right? So let's say you're getting flagged anyway. Some people will say you could go slowly and you might be able to stay on the radar for a while, and maybe software would speed up the process. Right, wait, exactly. So wait, this is what I'm saying. So we know that before you get flagged, you make a decent amount of money very quickly, right? So people would want to say, okay, I want to be not flagged for as long as possible, so let me not use software. So let's just say that's true or not, we don't know. The question we have to answer, or you have to answer, is one, is it possible to be profitable enough when you are flagged? That's one. And two, is it actually possible to make money doing 100% legitimate? I know the answer is yes to both of them. But at the end of the day, when all these YouTubers are selling courses, they're selling it based on the fact that buy my shit, you can make money after you buy my shit, right? I sold $100,000 fucking dollars, so buy my fucking course, and you too could sell $100,000. So
what are they not talking about? What's the one thing they're not talking about?
No, software are not saying that. Right. Software owners are not showing that you can, because you could say, you're saying, yes, it is legitimate. Yes, this is how you build a long-term business. But where are the numbers and where's the proof that you can build a long-term business and be profitable?
I'm going to answer to you right now.
Right.
First question, can you be profitable doing eBay dropshipping? Let's define profitability. What is profitable? Can you make $1 million a month from one eBay store without going the illegal path of owning a network of fake identity stores? No, probably not. You go on, you will get you're going to dropship from retailers. You will get flagged, and you are going to have a ceiling, a glass ceiling that you can't go above, and you're going to make profits until that glass ceiling, and that's what you're going to have to be okay with. But if you're a beginner, but when you're building a business, and all right,
no, but that glass, but wait, that glass ceiling. These other marketers define that glass ceiling. This is what I'm saying. You can't, like, when someone comes on YouTube and say, I sell $100,000, that is the glass ceiling. So even if you are drop shipping with a software and you can make money, the number needs, even if, like, yeah, the number needs to be some sort of real, because you can say, okay, I can sell $100 a day or $300 a day and make 10%, that's $30 a day, and $900.
You know when you don't have the glass ceiling? You don't have the glass ceiling when you work legitimately. But if you want to work legitimately, you are going to have to take higher risks. You're going to have to buy bulks of wholesale, inventory and store it somewhere. And if they're big stores, like, what are retailers? Retailers websites who have inventory. If you want to work the legitimate way, then retail dropshipping on eBay from retailers, against the policy. There is no other than the legitimate dropshipping suppliers that we're trying to introduce and the wholesale suppliers that we're trying to introduce. There is no other way known, not to me at all, and I'm admitting it, that there is no other way that is known in that can help you work 100% legitimately, but which means and when you don't work legitimately, on one hand you don't take any you barely take any risk because you're working with retailers, you did in inventory. This is your business, and when you don't take risk in your business, then the return, it's like you think about finance. You studied finance. The higher the risk, the higher the return. So if you're not willing to take the risk, that's fine. Know that you're going to have this loss of ceiling, like
right.
Ceiling.
But I want you to define that ceiling. I want DSM Tools as a company to show what that ceiling looks like. Not in this video. I want an eBay store. You understand? To say you use DSM Tools, you can get flagged, but from this evidence, you could make $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $5,000 a month, right?
And then what? Well, what do you do after?
That's what's needed. No. You can reinvest, but that is what needs to be answered to solve this problem, because everyone else, whether it is real or not, gives numbers to sell courses, and you are in a space where everyone watches everyone selling courses, and everyone is doing reference to say this motherfucker sold me a course for $500 or $1,000 or $300 or whatever. If you want the real information and you don't want to spend a lot of money, join Entrepreneurial first of all. There's a link in the description. Mark. But you are in that space.
Instagram, go to the Instagram channel of DSM Tool, click testimonials. You will see the customers that are sharing the numbers.
But you are talking to people watching. But you're talking to people watching other YouTube channels. So it is your responsibility to fucking show them. Even if it means coming on YouTube, logging into Instagram, showing them the screenshots, talking to those customers and putting it on YouTube. That is your fucking responsibility.
All right.
You see what I'm saying? All of these people are looking at YouTube and listening to marketers, right? All the one watching this, chances are trying to make money online, listen to Ecom, Tom, Paul, fucking, or everyone. All right, so you did it now.
Testimonials while you're talking. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Look, Clinton, who is today owning a channel called Dropshipping from Beginners. Clinton is the perfect example, right? He made $2,300 sales in his first month. The margins are not that high. It's like 10 to 20%. I don't know his specific margins during this month. Probably not 20%. Let's go for 10%. It's more eBay dropshipping. He kept doing more eBay dropshipping. And you know what he did afterwards? He started blogging. He created a YouTube channel. He created his own blog. He started affiliate marketing. He's still running his store with DSM Tool. He's still making. I don't have his current numbers. I don't feel like I can ask him to share the numbers and to show what he's doing today. But that's not the point. The point is that after you and there are more. I won't go through everything, but there are more numbers here and people that are listing and making sales and yada 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 and it happens. You can make money with eBay dropshipping as long as you understand. The point is not where you. I agree with you. Fine, we have to, and I understand this is our responsibility to set the ceiling and to show people how much you can make. Fine. Having that said, after that is done, this is the listeners. This is what they should decide. They should decide: am I going to develop my business? From the point that I didn't have any money in the beginning, right? I made the first $1,000 with eBay dropshipping. Now what am I doing? Am I going completely black hat and developing a network of stealth accounts, or am I investing these $1,000 in building a Shopify store, writing a blog, working with wholesalers on eBay, starting an Amazon account, whatever, any other direction that will build your business legitimately? And it's an absurd for a software company to say, yeah, you're going to use my software, but you're going to have a ceiling. I'm sorry. This is as much as you can use that software for. And I'm willing to get out there and say that because I believe that, because I'm not going to take responsibility for someone being sued by eBay for a network of stealth accounts. I'm sorry. I don't want to put myself or them suing us or whatever. I don't want to go in that direction at all. So
Right.
I'm here. I'm out. I'm telling the story, and well,
So
at
that's
least
what.
we
So, no, but this is what I want to continue, and this is the beginning of what we continue, because the question needs to be answered, and people need. So, guys, if you join DSM Tools, the one thing from this video I could promise you guys is that you would get real information and real direction. As we continue, and someone who is letting you know exactly what the goal is, what your options are. As we continue this debate, I want to explore how much money you could actually make, because I don't want this debate to be a one-day thing. I want this debate to be weekly or maybe every 2 weeks, because the
cool.
question needs to be
I'm looking
answered.
for candidates in the comments that will allow me to share the results, because I can get the results from my side, but I'm not doing it if people don't allow me to. So
I will look
whoever
at
is
I will
signing up,
look at my so I will look at my so you guys sign up for DSM tools, and we can figure out some sort of challenge, and we are going to actually do this. But I will also look in my office and the guys that I work with and see if we could get an account on DSM tools, and we'll use it as the to answer the question, right?
right.
Because I want, because when I was doing DSG, right, I would, and this is what I'm saying. This is the approach, because I understand that person because I was that person, right? I would show exactly how many listings I had, how long it take, how many hours it take, the cost of DSGenie, how much money I was actually making. So people are making decisions based on a lot less variables, right? And I did that because I understand that most of the people watching watching me cannot, this is not good or bad, but cannot and would not sacrifice the complete entrepreneurship journey of building a business with a lot of variables. Most people watching this wants to make some money with the least variables possible. So that is why I took that approach of trying to give as much as possible. And I was very naive. Like, if you go back to DsGenie's Facebook group now, I said, and I have screenshots of this, I want 100% of people to make money with eBay dropshipping using my software. And I believed that, because I thought that if I gave so much, if I gave you, listen, we didn't even plan to scale DsGenie more than 200 or 500 users, because I actually thought that if I kept 200 people or 500 people and gave them as many fucking steps as possible, and to reduce their competition because no one else was using this sniper software, 100% of people would be successful. That was my naivety in building the DsGenie, right? And then years later, then I realized that, okay, most people just want to make money. So entrepreneurship on the internet is this real popular thing. So everyone would make a little bit of money. Hey, I made $100. Hey, follow me on Instagram, buy my shit, become an affiliate. That's what people want. This whole fucking dance. And that's what people think entrepreneurship is about. And that's what's sad. But there's this weird communication that I am trying to help. Okay, some of you guys need, before this virus thing, my thought process was, okay, I accept that most people watching this shit don't have what it takes to be entrepreneurs, good or bad. I'm not saying that is good. I'm not saying that's bad. My entrepreneurship journey was difficult as fuck. And when my brother asked me if he should start a business, I said no. But my goal before the virus came was, you know what? I'm going to try to help as many people as possible, give them as much of the process as possible so that they should be successful, right? Once the virus came, that changed. Because a lot of people who before the virus did not have what it takes to be a real entrepreneur now don't have a choice.
Yeah, I feel you. Let me show you.
And
Let me show you how it looks.
And
I have
that's
it.
why I wanted to have this debate, and that's why this message needs to be said now, because
Do
people
you see
need to be
that?
self-aware. Yeah.
Look at the jump in eBay dropshipping. This is the past 5 years how it's still growing. Look at the jump in the past few months. Look
Yeah.
how crazy it goes, and I'm not comparing it to Amazon dropshipping and Shopify dropshipping, which are
This is
showing the
Google
exact
Trends,
same
by
result.
the way, guys. Anyone
Yeah.
who's watching this and don't know what you're looking at, this is Google Trends.
You know what's my version to what you've done? So you said that you're not going to charge anyone for not succeeding, right? You know how many debates I had with our team in DSM tool where I disagreed completely to remove the free plan. We have a free forever plan. We're the only software until today.
We never had a free plan. We never had a free plan. I didn't even have a free trial. I used to charge up front, but my goal was to try to help them get there. So I
Yeah,
didn't know. I still took my fucking money. Don't get like you
you can
don't.
get a free trial in DSM tool too, but if you don't want to pay, you have a free account that you use forever because my approach said that if I can't guarantee that people will succeed, I said I
Wow.
want people to
But
upgrade.
free forever.
I want people to upgrade even if they don't succeed because I need to finance my company. Fine, like this, it's my business. I'm not going to hide behind it, but I'm not going to force them to upgrade if I don't know if I don't take them hand by hand and deliver to them, here you're making more money, because I understand that they're going to manage the business through DSM tools. So we have a free forever plan.
I missed that. I missed that. There's a free forever. Oh, jeez. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. And that's the reason we developed it. And our belief was if you grow, then you're going to pay for the software. Now, obviously, I prefer people to take the risk and invest ahead of time and decide that they're taking, and we have pro features which are not available in the free plan. But the free plan is allowing you to drop ship, is giving you enough features so you could drop ship not manually with much more automation, and I'm planning to never shut it down. As long as the company exists, I want some people who can't pay, who are in a situation that, they're not 100% sure. Fine, then try it yourself completely for free. If you succeeded, upgrade. If you didn't succeed, on upgrade. And that's the same approach as you said, that you want 100% of the people to succeed. I know that I can. There are more than 200 people registering to DSM tool every day. I can't guarantee that everyone will succeed. So the
Yeah, but
risk
that's
that we
interesting. Let me just that's
And it's
commendable.
the
I
only
never even
software in
thought.
the industry that gives 100% free forever plan. Until today, since 4 years, the only software.
No, listen. That's interesting because I wanted 100% success, and you basically built that into your business model. You're a smart motherfucker. Wow.
Thank you. I'll take that as a
Oh
compliment.
fuck. Oh fuck. I don't think I didn't realize that. And guys watching this, Kafir, you could stop sharing your screen. Guys watching
So
this, I don't know if. Wow, dude. Okay. We have a lot more to talk about. Yeah, so let
does
me.
that mean that I win the debate?
Nah, fuck you. The debate isn't over yet. But, but, so guys, if you want to try DSM tools, I didn't realize that. And I will make a whole other conversation about that. Like now, I didn't know this motherfucker had a free forever plan. So you guys could go check that shit out. And wow, subscribe to my channel and like the video, and I'll put a link to Kafir's YouTube channel and Instagram. And you just blew my fucking mind. So I need to come off camera now and process this. So sorry. So guys, sorry for cutting this shit off quickly, but thanks for your time, Kafir. Like really, we're gonna continue this debate. I'm not gonna give up yet. We still have a couple things we need to address, but guys, just talk to you later, guys. If you have any questions, just put that shit in the comment section and check the links in the description. Join our Entrepreneur Zone. Try DSM tools. Have a good one.